It doesn't matter if you are an expert in marketing or business building or wellness or relationships. Companies, big and small, are investing with experts like you in their online courses, coaching, and consulting. And there are 5 business priorities that you need to connect your offer to get their attention. And that's what we're talking about today. Companies, big and small, are investing with experts like you and me. They're investing in our online courses, buying bulk of online course enrollments. They're investing in consulting. They're investing in coaching. They're investing more with outsourced experts than they are with their internal team, meaning they're delivering more training, more coaching using outside experts versus the team they have internally, which means there is a big opportunity to reach more people by tapping into that corporate market. Now, the corporate market is a little different marketing to that market than it is one-to-one. Because what we have to pay attention to is how do you connect what you do to driving profit in the company. That's exactly what we're gonna walk through. I'm gonna show you 5 different ways that you can connect the work you do, the packages you sell, the courses that you're leading to driving one of these core drivers. So first, we can break down profit into 2 things, right? There's 2 ways that you drive profit. The first is you increase sales. So thinking about what you do, you might have an obvious way that your work is something that could increase the amount of sales an organization is making, which if that's the case, good for you. A lot of us have to do a little bit more work, and I'm gonna show you how to do that so that you can make that connection. The other way that we drive profit is that we can reduce cost. So when you think about what you do, how does what you do help the company reduce cost? So let's dive a little deeper, and we're gonna look at some specific examples of how to do this. And number 1, when you think about increasing sales, there's 2 ways that a company can increase sales. There's 2 ways you can do it in your business, 2 ways I can do it in mine, 2 ways that a Fortune 10 company can do it. They can either increase customers, like meaning they go get more customers and attract more customers in, or they have the existing customers that they have spend more with them. So I want you to think about that right there. Like, how is what you do something that could enable one of those things? Can you enable them to go get more clients? Can you enable them to have the clients they have go deeper with them? Like, how could you support that process? And you might think, well, I don't do that, Janine. Like, I don't teach marketing, but I want to show you a couple things. Like, so here's some examples. Marketing, right? It's really obvious when you think about increasing customers. Well, marketing can do that. If you're a sales coach, if you teach sales training. But look at this. If you are somebody who helps people with their websites, or you teach how to do search engine optimization, that is about getting more customers. If you are somebody that is a storytelling expert, now you might think, well, I do story coaching. How would that help a company, get more customers? Story-based marketing is something that drives engagement. It's something that gets attention. It's how brands stand out. Connecting the work that you do in storytelling or the work that you do, say you're a drama coach and you do improv training. Thinking on your feet is a great skill for attracting new customers. Maybe the call center needs to be able to think on their feet, or their salespeople need to be able to think on their feet. If you think about your work and think about the connection point to this is your entry point into this market. Let's talk about increasing the average amount that a customer spends. Well, there's some obvious things, right? So we could say, well, gee, I am somebody who helps people implement referral programs. Well, that's obvious. You can help your customers gain more customers, refer friends, but there's also other things that you can support as far as getting average customers to spend more. How to build trust, how to build loyalty. If you're a relationship expert, that's about how you have people go deeper with you. If you think about things like customer care, phone skills, etiquette, there's all kinds of things that really connect to that relationship that has the trust, the loyalty factor that gets built in and has clients come in and go deeper. So think about, how could I help that? How do I facilitate that ongoing relationship with customers? And these are 2 ways. There's a lot of different ways we can kind of dive into this, because you could even go deeper and say, well, I help the people in the organization feel more connected And because they feel more connected to the brand they work for, they show up differently for customers. There's different ways that you can really make that connection when you start thinking about these two ways that you can help them drive sales. Now, the other way that we drive profit is that we reduce costs. So let's look at the three ways that we can help reduce costs. One way that you could help a company reduce cost is that you could help them with staff retention, meaning how do you help them keep the people, the talented people they already have? So think about the work you do. How does it tie to that? Well, we can look at it and say, well, there's some obvious things. Like if you're a team building coach, then you can make that connection. If you are a relationship coach, you can make that connection. But what about if you're wellness, right? If you're wellness, think about how having wellness programs, having things like ergonomics training or nutrition or parenting skills, how that plays into my loyalty I have and how it really builds the culture of the company. That's how you make the connection to reducing cost in the business. Another way that we can reduce cost is that we can obviously increase productivity, right? So if everybody in the company is more productive, then obviously we're reducing the cost of unproductivity, if there's such a word, or lack of productivity, right? So there's obvious things, like maybe you're a productivity coach, or you do Six Sigma, or you do Lean, and you're somebody who really works with this idea of optimizing productivity, eliminating waste. But again, like what if you're ergonomics? Increasing productivity. If I'm in a position where I am physically maximizing my energy while I'm sitting at my cubicle all day, does that increase productivity? Yes. And that's the point you want to make when you're getting in the door with that organization. Or wellness, any type of wellness. That's how you make the connection, because think of the cost of missed days of work. Like what does that cost a company to have people who are not well, people who have chronic shoulder pain, or they have to go to physical therapy for X, Y, or Z because they sit all day? These are all things that you can tap into and make the connection to how you impact profit in the company. The third way that you can reduce cost is obvious, but it's about eliminating waste, right? And obviously these things are waste too, right? Losing great staff is wasteful. Lack of productivity is wasteful. But there's also things like streamlining processes and eliminating steps that don't need to be there, or maximizing the use of your time and not wasting time. So if you're an expert, say you're a time management expert, or you help people determine their purpose and prioritize, or you're somebody who's really good at helping people do planning or implementing waste reduction programs, that's how you make the connection to driving profit in the organization. It takes a little shift, and that little shift is very easy to make. Like when you think about what you do and you step out of what you do and into how I help companies produce more profitable growth, that's how you shift the conversation. It's going to drive everything. How you outreach, how you send an email, how you get in touch with the decision maker, how you get the meeting. The way you do that is by speaking the language that organizations speak, and they speak the language of profit. So think about this. I encourage you to walk through and say, how do I just do the exercises of taking every one of these and brainstorming how what you do could enable this particular area to be optimized. And once you have that, you're starting to have a really strong set of talking points to get you in the door and to help figure out how you can help those organizations do the work that you can help them do, right? So let me know what shows up for you. Take a look at this, go do some reflection. And if you have an idea already of how what you do supports profitable growth, share it in the comments, because I know everybody likes to see ideas for this. Seeing how we each position what we do can help give us ideas on how we can position what we do.